Salt, an element so common in our daily lives, carries a history and symbolism far deeper than we might imagine. It's fascinating to consider that something so present on our tables has been a vital component in spiritual practices and protection for centuries. Are the traditions involving salt mere superstitions, or do they conceal a deeper meaning? Paracelsus, the renowned Renaissance alchemist and physician, claimed that salt holds the secrets of the earth and the mysteries of the spirit. But what exactly did he mean by that? In this video, we will embark on a captivating journey to uncover these questions and understand the true power of salt. We will explore how this substance has been used in spiritual battles, its role in sacred texts, and how throughout history it has served both for protection and to cast curses. Most importantly, you will learn how to properly use salt to safeguard your home, family, and yourself from negative energies that may surround you. The knowledge you gain could completely transform your spiritual perspective, offering powerful tools to confront the shadows that often lie closer than we think. Together, we'll delve into the profound mysteries surrounding salt, an element so present in our lives that holds powerful spiritual secrets. Salt is more than just a simple mineral. It's one of the oldest substances on Earth, formed over billions of years through processes that have accompanied the planet's history. Its quiet existence mirrors the world's journey since its beginnings, when, as described in the Bible, the waters parted and the land took shape. But salt's significance goes beyond its physical form. Spiritually, it symbolizes purity and strength, serving as a protector of humanity through generations. How can something seemingly so simple carry such profound meaning? Physically, salt is essential for preserving food and preventing decay, a crucial factor for the survival of ancient civilizations. But what if salt also has the ability to preserve the spirit? In its spiritual dimension, salt protects the soul, preventing corruption and acting as a barrier against negative influences. This common mineral in our daily lives reveals itself to be far more powerful than we often imagine, symbolizing a defense against destructive forces that could affect our lives. In sacred scriptures, salt plays a significant role at critical moments. In the book of Numbers, God establishes a covenant of salt with the children of Israel, representing an eternal, unbreakable bond. But what does this covenant truly mean? Just as salt endures over time and resists decay, this covenant symbolizes the permanence and loyalty of divine promises. Salt thus becomes a tangible reminder of eternal protection and grace bestowed upon the faithful throughout their journey. Throughout history, salt has been much more than an economic commodity. It also held a prominent place as a substance of spiritual value. In the Roman Empire, salt's importance was such that soldiers were often paid with it. However, salt's value extended beyond currency. It symbolized loyalty and fidelity, elevating its meaning to a deeper spiritual level. This reverence for salt as something sacred was not unique to the Romans. Other cultures, like Judaism, also considered it essential in religious practices. Salt was used in every sacrifice made to God to ensure the purity and acceptance of these acts of devotion. But why was salt indispensable for a sacrifice to be worthy? Perhaps because it transcends its material function, acting as a link between the human and the divine. The presence of salt in rituals served to guarantee that actions aligned with higher spiritual laws. Several passages in sacred scriptures mention salt, each revealing unique aspects of its spiritual power. A notable example is found in the Book of Kings, where the prophet Elisha uses salt to purify the contaminated waters of Jericho, which caused death and infertility. But was it only the salt that healed the waters, or was there something more at play? By casting salt into the spring and invoking God's name, Elisha transformed a source of destruction into a river of life. The use of salt in this context was not merely symbolic. It represented the union of faith and divine intention, revealing its power to purify and turn something impure into a life-giving force. It's interesting to note that this miracle took place in Jericho, a city once cursed by Joshua. By purifying the waters, Elisha not only lifted the curse, but also restored divine grace over the city. This leads us to wonder how many times throughout history salt has been used to undo curses and restore blessings. Thus, salt becomes more than a symbol of purification. It transforms into an icon of redemption, capable of reversing curses and bringing back blessings and divine protection. Beyond its role in purification and preservation, salt also represents divine judgment. A clear example is in the book of Genesis, where Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt for disobeying God's command not to look back while fleeing Sodom. But why was she transformed into salt? This transformation was no accident. Salt symbolizes the inevitable consequences of disobedience. It becomes a physical marker of divine will and resistance, a perpetual reminder of the repercussions of ignoring God's commandments. These examples reveal that salt goes far beyond being a mere agent of purification or preservation. It carries a deep, powerful spiritual symbolism. Its presence in Scripture highlights important themes such as loyalty, purity, obedience, and divine law. Have you ever stopped to consider the hidden power that something as common as salt might hold? Is it just a cooking ingredient, or is there something deeper behind its presence in religious and esoteric rituals? Is salt simply a common seasoning, or can we see it as a tangible link to the divine? Beyond its sacred role in religious texts, salt has a rich and intriguing history in occult and esoteric practices. For many mystical traditions, salt is more than a simple mineral. It is regarded as a crystal with properties capable of absorbing, transmuting, and even amplifying energies. But what gives salt this power? Its naturally symmetrical and balanced crystalline structure is often seen as a reflection of the order and harmony of the universe. Isn't it fascinating to think that such a mundane element could be so deeply connected to cosmic harmony? In ceremonial magic, salt is used to create protective circles around altars and places of spiritual practice. These circles act as barriers that separate sacred space from the outside world, shielding it from negative influences or malevolent entities. But is the power truly in the salt itself, or in the intention of the person using it? By defining the boundary between the profane and the sacred, salt allows spiritual practices to take place safely within a protected environment. This tradition of forming a magical circle with salt is not mere superstition. It's based on the ancient belief that salt can build a genuine spiritual fortress. However, salt's use in magic is not limited to protection. In some dark magic traditions, salt is used in rituals to seal pacts with dark forces or to cast powerful curses. Why use something so pure and sacred for evil? When combined with other elements like blood or special herbs, salt can create an intense connection between the practitioner and underworld forces. But this sacred substance requires caution, as its energy can backfire on those who manipulate it incorrectly. This leads us to reflect on salt's dual nature. It can be both a blessing and a curse. Just as salt can bring blessings, it can also become a curse depending on how it is used. In traditions such as Kabbalah, salt symbolizes endurance and immortality. It plays a crucial role in healing and exorcism rituals, used to cleanse both bodies and souls afflicted by negative energies. But what exactly makes salt so potent in these sacred ceremonies? Perhaps it is its unique ability to restore natural balance, often disrupted by malevolent forces, thereby bringing back spiritual order and harmony. Since ancient times, salt has been highly regarded by many cultures as a powerful purifier, capable of eliminating impurities both physical and spiritual. This belief is evident in ancestral practices where salt was used to consecrate places and objects, preparing them for rituals and divine encounters. For example, in ancient Greece, salt was offered to the gods during consecration rites, believed to attract protection and blessings. But did the Greeks view salt merely as a material offering? Or was there a deeper significance behind this gift? For them, salt represented something far greater, a divine gift whose purity and resilience made it worthy of sacrifice. This perception has transcended time, adapted by various cultures and religions through the centuries. Salt has always maintained its role as a symbol of purity, holiness, and spiritual strength, acting as a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, preserving harmony between these two worlds. These traditions show us that salt was never just a common mineral. It has long been recognized as a conduit of power, serving as both protector and healer across millennia, upholding its status as a sacred and spiritual element in diverse cultures. But how can we effectively use salt during spiritual crises? When negative energies reach their peak, can something so simple truly become a shield against evil? One of the oldest and most popular ways to use salt in spiritual practice is by purifying spaces, sprinkling it in areas that need protection. By scattering salt in the four corners of a room or home, we don't just create a physical boundary. We establish an energetic barrier that prevents negative forces from entering or lingering. What makes this practice so effective? The secret lies in combining the physical act of spreading salt with prayers or spells that intensify the intention of purification and protection. Isn't this proof that when faith and action unite, the true spiritual power of salt is activated? In doing so, you not only create a sacred space, but also invite divine presence to guard and bless the environment. Beyond protecting spaces, salt is widely used to consecrate and cleanse objects. Sacred relics, talismans, and even money can be freed from accumulated negative energies through salt purification. But can a simple salt crystal really hold such cleansing power? The consecration process is especially important for items used in rituals or those needing protection from harmful influences. When salt touches these objects, it not only removes physical impurities, but also absorbs negative energies, making them fit for sacred use. Throughout history, this practice has proven effective and has been embraced by various cultures regardless of era. During intense spiritual battles, salt can also be used to neutralize spells or curses. How does this work? For salt to be effective, it must first be consecrated for this specific purpose through a powerful prayer or dedicated ritual. Once blessed, it becomes a highly potent spiritual tool capable of dissolving curses and restoring spiritual harmony wherever applied. This invites us to reflect on how a simple consecration ritual can transform an ordinary element into a mighty spiritual weapon. By imbuing salt with protective and purifying properties, we create an instrument that aids us in confronting forces threatening our balance and inner peace. Another profound use of salt is in personal liberation rituals. If you feel spiritually attacked or influenced by negative energies, a salt bath can become a valuable ally in your purification and protection journey. Salt baths cleanse the aura, removing negative attachments. For the ritual to be effective, the salt must be consecrated, and during the bath, it's important to visualize the salt absorbing and dissolving all spiritual impurities from your body. Is this method truly powerful? Many believe so, as it not only purifies, but also strengthens the aura, making it more resilient to future attacks. The use of salt in protective rituals has deep roots in ancient traditions, such as the Celtic ceremonies held during Samhain. At those times, salt was scattered around homes and villages to create a spiritual barrier against evil spirits. This practice remains relevant today, perhaps even more so, as salt continues to be seen as a potent talisman that separates the physical world from the spiritual and wards off unwanted energies. Salt's symbolism crosses religious and cultural boundaries, revered in various mystical traditions worldwide. In Japan, for instance, salt is widely used in religious and social ceremonies to purify spaces and repel evil spirits. A clear example is sumo wrestlers who throw salt into the ring before a match to ensure the fight occurs in a purified, negativity-free space. Can salt really transform the energy of a place? Ancestral traditions say yes, supported by countless historical examples. In the Middle East, salt holds a special meaning in rituals of friendship and alliance. Sharing salt symbolizes forming a sacred bond, a promise of loyalty that transcends life itself. We often underestimate the depth of this gesture. In these cultures, a salt covenant is considered unbreakable, and breaking it is a serious offense both spiritually and socially. By sharing salt, an alliance is formed that goes beyond the present moment, creating eternal ties of trust and fidelity. In Africa, salt plays a central role in initiation and healing ceremonies across various tribes. It is regarded as a sacred gift from the gods, used to bless and protect those undergoing transformative life experiences. Its presence in these ceremonies signifies purification and renewal, ensuring the spiritual protection necessary during important transitions. These spiritual rituals demonstrate that despite its simplicity, salt continues to play a vital role in ceremonies and practices worldwide, connecting us with ancestral knowledge and spiritual traditions spanning generations. It serves as a link between past and present, reinforcing the continuity of ancient wisdom in our modern lives. By exploring esoteric and biblical teachings about salt, we begin to uncover its hidden potential, revealing how it can be used to transform reality, safeguard our homes and families, and assist us in spiritual battles. When salt is used with clear intention and faith, it transcends its role as a mere culinary ingredient and becomes a powerful spiritual tool, a bridge between the physical world and the divine. If you've read this far, know that you've taken an important step on a journey of spiritual discovery and protection, just like salt, silently purifying and preserving everything around it. Your quest for knowledge keeps the flame of wisdom alive. Today, together, we have uncovered the hidden mysteries of an element so simple, yet so powerful. But this journey doesn't end here. Every new insight is like a tiny grain of salt, seemingly small, but capable of transforming your surroundings, both physical and spiritual. Now you carry ancient knowledge, and by applying it, you protect, transform, and illuminate not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. If you appreciate salt and want to keep preserving and expanding this knowledge, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Imagine that by clicking subscribe, you're adding another grain of salt to this fortress of protection and wisdom we're building together. Each like and subscription is a barrier we raise against ignorance and forgetfulness. Your actions strengthen this community of seekers, and together we can explore even more secrets the spiritual world has to offer. For centuries, salt has symbolized loyalty, purity, and divine connection, and your presence here until the end of this video reinforces that bond between us. Just as salt preserves what is precious, your commitment to seeking truth and understanding preserves the wisdom we share. You are part of a lineage of spiritual explorers who, through time, have dared to look beyond appearances and seek the true power residing in the unseen. I deeply thank you for staying with me through this reflection. You belong to a community of truth seekers, people who, like me, believe there is much more to uncover beyond what the eyes can see. Share your thoughts in the comments, because every experience, every story, is another grain that adds to this great alchemy of knowledge. Let's continue building this fortress of protection and wisdom together. Thank you for being part of this journey, and until the next discovery.